Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today on another amazing episode about tea. My name is Jenny. I am the owner and founder of Sipping Streams Tea Company, an 11-time international award-winning tea company, and we love tea. We love everything about tea, from tea history, culture, the health benefits of tea, the community that tea allows us to have, and the space it allows us to also have to make us healthy through mindfulness and transformation. So today I will be doing another video about tea, and specifically the topic of our three most popular teas, which a lot of you who are starting to get to know us are asking a lot about, what kind of teas from your brand specifically are, would you recommend? Because you are starting to hear maybe about us or have seen us online in multiple places. If you're watching right now, say hello. Let me know where you're watching from in the world. You might be on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So say hello. Let me know that you're watching right now. Hey, Sharon, thanks for joining us today. And if you have any questions at all about tea, drop them in the comments right now or while you're watching so that I can answer your questions at the end. So let's begin. So my name is Jenny, and thank you so much for joining me today. And we will be going over the topic of our three most popular teas that our fans of Sipping Streams absolutely love. And why? Why do people love these three specific teas? And why are they the most popular ones? Now, we've been in business for 13, almost 14 years, and we have been specializing in our own teas, in blending our own teas, hand blending them, sourcing our own ingredients, and even hand harvesting our own local botanicals. And this is something that it didn't start off as that idea at first, because my background is actually in health and wellness and not necessarily in tea. However, being an immigrant and being first generation American, I did have the traditional cultural background of other Chinese people who use tea like medicine and different herbal remedies, just like some of you might be interested in. So the first blend that I'm going to introduce you today is the Midnight Sun Herbal Blend. And the Midnight Sun Herbal Blend is a Tisane, actually. It actually has no tea at all. So it means herbal infusion. And this herbal infusion is great because it is fruity, it's tangy, it's kind of fun. It makes a really nice cold brew or iced cup of tea, quote unquote, that isn't actually with any caffeine at all. It's caffeine free. It's great for people who are pregnant, and it gives you that sweetness that you crave in maybe some sugary, juicy beverages that come with no calories at all, because it's just an herbal infusion of orange peels, lemon peels, hibiscus, rosehip, and rose petals. It makes an excellent, beautiful cup of cold brew tea also. But again, it's not actually a tea, it is a Tisane, and it's our Midnight Sun Herbal Blend. This is great even for your children too. It's very high in vitamin C, and vitamin C is an antioxidant, but more importantly, it also helps with cellular regeneration. So when you have damaged cells from being sick, or when you are recovering from being pregnant, and you need to have new cell growth, vitamin C is very, very important for that. It also has hibiscus in it too, so it's great for helping decrease blood pressure also. Our local hospital here in Fairbanks, Alaska actually buys our hibiscus in bulk for their radiology department to bring down people's blood pressures when they get scanned. So this is something that people really like to help regulate blood sugar, bring down their blood pressure, caffeine-free, sugar-free, but sweet and tangy all at the same time. So that's one of our first top three blends. And it's really hard to say because as the seasons change, different people have different favorites depending on the time of year. And with this season of change, you might have a certain favorite that you crave when it's really hot and summery. And as it goes into fall, you might have a different kind of flavor of tea or tea blend that you might prefer. Hello, we have someone watching from Durango, Alaska, or Durango, Colorado. We have people watching from Fairbanks, Alaska. And if you have any questions at all, make sure you write them down below in the comments or in the chat, and we would love to get back to your questions. So another popular one that I have surprisingly sold a lot of. People will buy them in multitudes of canisters from us at our store or at the farmer's market. But this is another hand blend creation that I actually had made over 13 years ago. It was my first most popular blend. Again, not a tea at all. It's an herbal infusion. It's called Northern Serenity, and it's kind of a mint chocolate, but no chocolate, no sugar, no dairy in it. It's actually got organic cacao nibs in it, all organic. And it has cacao nibs, rooibos, vanilla, and mint in it. And it is a very, very popular blend. And as it moves into flu season or influenza season, this is super, super popular for people who are trying to recover from that sore throat, itchy eyes, not being able to breathe, congestion that we get in the winter time. And this is great for opening up the sinuses. And theobromine is high in cacao nibs also, which is an ingredient in there. So it helps open up the lungs, helps with decreasing inflammation with the rooibos that is in there. So this amazing combination is very, very good for people who are trying to, fight the symptoms that they might get with the flu, with the sore throat, with congestion and things like that, and also for allergy season. So this blend, for some reason, again, 13 years later, has been super, super popular again, where people recommend it. They might have it iced in the summertime, but definitely have it hot in the wintertime. And again, it is caffeine free, so you can drink it any time of day, and it's not going to keep you up all night. And this Tasson, also, if you put milk and sugar in it, kind of tastes like, chocolate chip mints, kind of like a thin mint, like Girl Scout cookies, kind of. So if you have children, this is also a really nice treat. It has, again, no dairy in it. It's vegan. It's not actually chocolate that's in it. It's cacao nibs, peppermint, and rooibos with some vanilla in it. Again, calorie free and can give you the rest that you need at night. Or you can drink it during the day, especially when you're feeling sick or congested. Now, this third one has become the #1 most popular blend from Sipping Streams Tea Company. And it was not meant to actually be a permanent blend. It was supposed to be actually a donation, just something fun for me to create. So at Sipping Streams Tea Company, I'm the owner and founder, but at the same time, I love creating different combinations of tea blends or herbal infusions. But this last one that I want to tell you about is actually purely tea. It is made from the Camellia sinensis plant. It's the plant that you make tea from. So it turns into white tea, green tea, oolong tea, black tea, or pu'er. And I got some water going already. So I want to show you how I'm going to make it in my tea brewer here. So I have a 16-ounce tea brewer, and I'm just going to use 1 tablespoon of tea, which is about two teaspoons. So, 2.5 grams times 2. Now, it is very fluffy, so sometimes if you don't weigh it out just right, it just might not be strong enough. But this tea was actually made for dog mushers in mind. Dog mushers, can you believe it? Like the sport of mushing dogs across the Arctic cold regions. And it was actually a donation I created over 12 years ago. I didn't expect that I was going to make it year after year. I did not expect that it was going to be featured on NPR. You can use boiling hot water. Now, if you don't use boiling hot water, It's okay. It can be cold brew also. It's also a tea that is extremely forgiving. Now remember, this is actually a tea, purely tea. There's actually 4 different teas in it. It's a combination of 2 white teas and 2 black teas, and it's called a 1,000-mile tea. And it's amazing because it tastes naturally sweet, not bitter, strong, yet malty, and doesn't have that astringency, that bite, so you never have to add any milk or sugar to it. It's always just good on its own and can throw it in and go. So why did I create it that way? Why did I make this quote-unquote foolproof tea? Well, I created this foolproof tea for dog mushers who didn't know how to drink tea. And I was experimenting on people who said over and over again they would take a donation on tea as long as it was really strong and very caffeinated. Because in the Yukon Quest dog sled race that races from Whitehorse, Canada, all the way to Fairbanks, Alaska. So it's a 1,000-mile race, and it's the longest international dog sled race. And it starts in our hometown or in Whitehorse, UK, and not UK, Whitehorse, Canada, and it either swaps its start and finish line. It's a 1,000-mile race. They actually have to stop at the border and check their passports, actually. The Mounties are there. They know it's a race, and they know how many mushers are mushing. And so this is a beverage that is supposed to keep these mushers up throughout the night if they need to. And since it's a race, who has time to steep their tea properly? So when I asked the Yukon Quest, hey, my name is Jenny. I would love to donate a blend for you for your race. You know, I want to give back to my community, and someone said you would probably take a donation of tea. What would you be interested in? And when I spoke to the director at the time, she said, oh, that's great. Yeah, just make it really strong and really caffeinated. So I tried to probe her for some more information. Like, okay, do you know what kind of tea they might like to drink? She's like, I don't think it'll really matter as long as it's really strong and really caffeinated. And since she kept repeating really strong and really caffeinated, and I couldn't get her to say anything besides that, all I knew was it had to be a highly caffeinated tea. Because if it was going to end up being bitter when it was oversteeped, and if there was any fuss with it, people in a race are not going to have the time to make a proper cup of tea. So it was going to have to be a tea that they could just literally throw it in and go. And so now we have been making this tea for 12 years now. And the next year, I was not planning on making it. So I made it for 1 year. I made it and donated it for all the checkpoints and the dog drops along the race. You know, so this tea was dispersed throughout everywhere. And after that racing season, I had one of the mushers come in every other month asking for this tea. It didn't even really have a name yet. It was literally just a tea that I donated, and all I wanted to know was that it worked. That was really strong and caffeinated. And that it tasted good, obviously. For being an award-winning tea company, it had to taste good. So for our tea, this one particular musher kept coming back in asking for more of it. And then pretty soon, his friends and his supporters and his sponsors would come into our store. And at the time, I worked probably over 10 hours a day inside my tea shop, blending the teas, cooking, baking, and things like that. And then I realized, wow, he's telling other people about this tea, but it's not something that we're going to keep. I don't want to tell him and disappoint him that it's not going to be a tea that we're going to keep, but we'll just keep making it for him. So I'd go to the back and say, I'll be back in 5 minutes. I'm going to blend some of your tea. Every time he came, I thought he was going to stop coming, but then more of his friends started coming, more of his fans, his followers. And since then, he has been a champion for the Yukon Quest dog sled race. And so from there, the next season came back. So the second year, the director approached me and said, you're going to donate more of that tea, right? Like, I guess so. Now, granted, It was a very expensive tea to blend. And now we continue to donate over $3,000 worth of this tea every year for the Yukon Quest dog sled race. And it's called the 1,000-Mile Tea. And we have fans of dog mushing or fans of caffeine in general all over the world who reorder this from our website at sippingstreams.com by the pound. Now, these people who are fans of caffeine and the energy and other champion dog mushers from this race, they have sworn up and down. They're like, I did not think it was going to have as much caffeine as it did, but it literally kept me up for days. And so what it is about this tea is that it is not coffee. The tea plant itself is completely different than coffee. That's why it's not coffee. It is the Camellia sinensis plant. And the Camellia sinensis plant has different components in the tea leaf itself that keeps the caffeine in your bloodstream a lot longer than coffee. That's why coffee, you'll get a crash. But with the Camellia sinensis plant, it also has an amino acid that calms and relaxes your body. So when you're ready to go to bed, or you think you're relaxed, but your mind won't shut off and you feel alert still, that's the caffeine, while the L-theanine calms and relaxes your body. So this is an amazing black and white tea blend. You don't need to add any milk or sugar to it. We always ask these non-tea drinkers who become fans of this 1,000-Mile Tea, what is it that you like about this tea? They're like, I don't know. It's just a really good tasting tea. And I have asked people over and over again, all these non-tea drinkers who have switched cold turkey off of coffee because their doctors told them they could no longer drink coffee, but they have switched to this 1,000-Mile Tea blend, which is literally just tea. And over again, they're like, I love it. I will never go back to coffee. Or we've even have mechanics and truck drivers who used to drink a case of Red Bull a week. And they say, I love the flavor. I don't know what about it. It just makes me feel really good. I feel amazing. I feel clean. I don't add any sugar to it. Not even the mechanics who drink a case of a Red Bull, or you were used to drinking a case of Red Bull. Now they switched to 1,000-Mile Tea. I'm like, do you add any sugar to it? Do you need any sweetener? Over and over again, they say no. It just doesn't need anything. It tastes so good on its own. And so I think for those people switching to tea from coffee or high caffeinated energy drinks or such like that, they've just never had such an amazing high quality tea. Now remember, I said this is a very expensive tea to blend. It's got 3 high-end teas in it, 2 white teas and 2 black teas. Unfortunately, that is my own recipe here at Sipping Stream, so I don't disclose my recipe, but it's actually our white teas that have more caffeine than the black tea. And our black tea gives it this strong, malty, rich flavor without the bitterness that keeps people hooked on a really good tea experience. So if you know anyone who needs to switch away from energy drinks, if you know anyone who has to cut out coffee out of their diet because their doctor says so, that it's bad for, their coffee is bad for their gut or whatever, or their stomach ulcers, this is a great alternative to switch to. So cheers to you and your friends and family from Sipping Streams. But our top 3 blends from Sipping Streams Tea Company are, 2 of them are not even tea. They're caffeine-free herbal blends. We have the Midnight Sun Herbal Blend, great for blood pressure, decreasing blood pressure, regulating blood sugar, sweet, tangy, high in vitamin C, great for the kids if they're wanting some sort of juice alternative, right? Because it's sweet and kind of fruity with the orange peels and lemon peels, kind of citrusy. And then the other top blend that we have is the Northern Serenity, great for cold and allergy season, great for the flu. Again, if you add some milk and sugar to it, it might taste like a Thin Mint Girl Scout cookie, kind of like, Andy's, the little chocolate candies that are on your pillow when we used to stay at hotels. So the Northern Serenity is also extremely popular and our ultimately most popular out of the whole entire tea company of Sipping Streams is the 1,000-mile tea, and it literally is just that, tea. Now, none of these blends have actually won any of our awards. They have never won any of our awards. And in fact, the 1,000-mile tea, that is our most popular blend out of everything, also because of flavor, it actually doesn't fit in a category at the Global Tea Championships. It's actually in two category types, which are white tea and black tea. It won't fit in the category of breakfast blends because it is not mostly black tea. It's almost half and half the ratio. And there's no category to enter in the Global Tea Championships that has to do with two categories of teas with no other botanicals. That is purely tea. So unfortunately, the 1,000-mile tea has always been disqualified every time we try to enter it into competition because it's just tea and it has nothing else and it has no flavoring agents, nothing like that at all. So those are our three top teas or tisanes, our top three from Sipping Streams Tea Company, and those are why. Now, how do you ice the Midnight Sun? You can easily make the Midnight Sun in a tea brewer, in a tea basket, in a steeper, in disposable tea filters, anything like that. And our recipe for iced teas are all on our YouTube channel. So if you go look for Sipping Streams on YouTube, you'll find we have all these different recipes. But a really easy way to make your Midnight Sun herbal blend is to follow the instructions and make it hot and make it twice as strong. So either use twice as much of the herbal blend or steep it twice as long. And then pour it over a full glass of ice and voila, there you go. Easy Midnight Sun that is iced. Or any iced tea blends for that matter. So great questions, everyone. And don't forget, if you're interested in learning about more about the health benefits of tea, how to brew tea, tea recipes, creative things you can do with tea, and how to transform your life, you don't want to miss out on the 5 Days of Tea Transformational Challenge. Just go to bit.ly, bit.ly/5 Days of Tea. You can sign up today. It's starting very soon, absolutely free, 5-day mini course. And every day we give away free prizes, and every day we have at least 1 hour of intensive workshopping with you, absolutely free, about the amazing powers of tea. So sign up today, and you can even enter to win our very first giveaway, which is a tea party in a box kit. So you can have a tea party at home, celebrate your friend's birthday virtually, celebrate an anniversary at home, have a date night at home. It's totally quarantine friendly. Or if you feel like going outside and having a picnic with your tea party in a box kit, it has everything you need. The tea, the honey, the cups, the saucers, the plates, the napkins, the silverware, and it comes with scone mixes and tea cookie mixes and tea sandwich recipes. So wherever you are in the world, we can ship that to you for free. So anyone in the world can absolutely enter our 5 Days of Tea Transformational Challenge. We would love to see you there very soon at the end of September. So sign up today. And if you know anyone who'll be interested in this podcast and learning more about tea, share out this episode with them. If you're a big fan and follower of Sipping Streams Tea Company and you're trying to recommend Sipping Streams, this is the perfect episode to introduce them to our blends and what other people have loved for the past 13 years. So thank you so much, everyone who joined me today, and I'll see you again very soon.